Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday, October 21st regular council meeting. This is a hybrid meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order and start off with a land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that the Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen is located on the Treaty 20 Mississauga territory of the Mississauga and Chippewa Nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaties First Nations, which includes Curve Lake, Hiawatha, Alderville, Gugog Island, Rama, Beausoleil, and Georgina Island First Nations. The Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen respectfully acknowledges that the Williams Treaties First Nations are the stewards and caretakers of the lands and waters in perpetuity, and that they continue to maintain this responsibility to ensure their health and integrity for generations to come. I'm going to go into a moment of silent reflection for council and staff to quietly reflect on the duty to the community to represent. Thank you. Okay, we'll ask everyone make sure your cell phones are off or placed on vibrate so it doesn't disturb the meeting. And remind everybody of the declaration of pecuniary interest. If it arises, you can declare it then. We have minutes here from the council meeting on October 7th. If all is in order, I'll look for a motion that we receive those. Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Flagler. All in favor, and that's carried. So we're going to move into a public meeting for zoning bylaw amendments. We have 3 applications here, so I'll look for a motion to go into the public meeting. Moved by Councillor Clement, second by Deputy Mayor Webb. All in favor, that's okay. So the same will go for all of these. This is a statutory meeting held under Section 39 of the Planning Act. Any person may attend the public meeting and or make verbal or written representation either in support or in opposition to the proposed zoning bylaw amendment. Please keep your video off and microphone muted during the meeting until the chair invites comments regarding a planning matter. If a person or public body does not make oral submission at the public meeting or make written submission to the Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen before the proposed zoning bylaw is passed, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision of the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen to the Ontario Land Tribunal. If a person or public body does not make an oral submission at the public meeting or make written submissions to the Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen before the proposed zoning bylaw amendment is passed, the person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of the appeal before the Ontario Land Tribunal unless, in the opinion of the tribunal, there are reasonable grounds to add the person or public body as a party. If you wish to be notified of the passing of the zoning bylaw amendment, you must make written requests to the Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen. So with that, we'll move into the first item on the amendments here, and that's Venema. And Alicia, you can take over. Good morning.
Good morning. Through you, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for having me here today. I hope everybody is having a good morning so far. I'll just do a quick intro. I am going to be presenting all of the planning applications today. I will note that previously Ms. Deck had prepared the staff reports for these applications, and so I will be presenting them. The only ones that FOTEN had prepared, just for context, are the addendum to the Venema application and for the consent that's being discussed later. So I do just want to thank Travis and Sonia for catching me up and getting me up to speed on some of these. So I will do my best to reach into the background that they've given me here. But if there are any questions, I may just take some time to look some of the information up. So without further ado, yes, this first application was submitted to the township for the property municipally known as 524 Fire Route 54 in the Belmont Ward and is identified as part of Lot 27 and 28, Concession 2. Roll number 1531-010-006-29801. And the purpose and effect of this application is to present for the consideration of members of the public and council an application to amend the Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen Comprehensive Zoning Bylaw 1995-42 as amended to permit the redevelopment of the site with a new seasonal dwelling in replacement of the existing seasonal dwelling. The subject property is just over 2,144 square meters, which is about half an acre in size, and has approximately 72 meters of shoreline on Cordova Lake and about 68 meters of frontage on Fire Route 54. The site is designated shoreland areas and the waterfront in the Peterborough County Official Plan and shoreline in the Township Official Plan. It is zoned seasonal residential and is currently developed with a seasonal dwelling that is less than 175 square feet, which is about 16 square meters or so, and is located 15.2 meters from the shoreline of Cordova Lake. The new dwelling is proposed to be approximately 116 square meters, which is nearly 1,250 square feet, and is proposed to maintain the existing 15.2 meter setback from the shore. Now, the application before council this morning is a zoning bylaw amendment to rezone the site to a special district zone that would permit a reduced setback to the high water mark, a reduced front yard setback, and a reduced rear yard setback to facilitate the proposed development. And the application was circulated to internal staff and external commenting agencies for technical review as a result. The receipt of correspondence from Crow Valley Conservation Authority did have a recommendation for council to defer the application today. So that is the recommendation that is being brought forward today. And that is because the Conservation Authority identified a discrepancy in the floodplain mapping on the applicant's site plan, which utilizes some potentially dated flood elevation measurements. And as such, Crow Valley is requesting that a new site plan be prepared and submitted following an Ontario land surveyor having taken updated topographical elevation measurements so that the Conservation Authority and the applicant can more accurately determine where the high water mark setback actually is and where the required setback for emergency access is as far as the Conservation Authority's regulatory setback. Crow Valley Conservation Authority cannot currently make a positive recommendation based on this discrepancy in their mapping and the mapping of the high water mark on the site plan submitted. And township staff would like to be able to consider the Conservation Authority's recommendation prior to providing that recommending approval to council. So it is my recommendation based on my professional planning opinion that the subject application should be deferred until a revised site plan prepared by an Ontario land surveyor can be submitted to the township and until the township receive updated comments from the Conservation Authority. Public notice was posted on the site, and as a response to the recent Canada Post strike, was also posted on the township's website, meeting the requirements of the Planning Act. Of course, I'm available for any questions or comments.
Okay, thank you, Alicia. So normally we would ask 3 times anybody opposed, followed by 3 times anybody wants to speak in favor of these applications. For this application here right now, I'll just ask, is there anybody online that would like to speak to this application or have any further comments? I'm not seeing any, so we do have the recommendation here. What's council's?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, yeah, I guess we can't have somebody building in a flood hazard zone. So until we get that report back from CVCA, Crow Valley, I think there's much we can do here. So I'll make a motion that we accept the recommendation of the planner to defer this to a later date.
By the deputy mayor and second by Councillor Doherty. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, the next application here is Sampson. Alicia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and through you, yes, the next zoning bylaw amendment application is for the property municipally known as 431 Fire Route 93. The property is in Methuen Warren and identified as part of Lot 10, Concession 9, roll number 1531-010-009-25800. And the purpose and effect of this application is to present for the consideration of members of the public and council an application to amend the Township Zoning Bylaw 1995-42 as amended to permit an accessory structure in the absence of a primary use as part of the fulfillment of a condition for consent to sever. The subject property is 9,348 square meters, which is 2.3 acres in size, and has approximately 104 meters of shoreline on Cashbog Lake and a similar frontage on Fire Route 93. The site is designated shoreland areas and the waterfront in the Peterborough County Official Plan and shoreline in the Township Official Plan. It's zoned seasonal residential. And as previously mentioned, the site is the subject of a provisionally approved consent application, which proposes to result in the creation of one new lot from the entire land holding. So that's that 9,000 square meter plus land holding that I mentioned previously. The property as it currently exists is developed with a seasonal residential dwelling, accessory structure, boathouse, septic system, and a well. And the proposed severed property would, the proposed severed lot would sort of retain the boathouse, while the retained lands would retain the existing dwelling, accessory structure, and all the private servicing on the site. No new development is currently proposed on the severed lands, though it is anticipated that it may be developed in a similar fashion to other seasonal residential zoned lots on Cashbog Lake and throughout the township in the future, subject to future applications. The proposed development is overall consistent with the planning statement, the provincial planning statement, conforms to the policies of the county and township official plans, and does not offend the general intent of the township's zoning bylaw. The existing boathouse will be incorporated into the review of any future development application on the new severed lot with respect to compliance for the zoning bylaw, including a review of any future building separation distances, coverage requirements, and overall impact of any future development as a whole. And the retention of the boathouse on the severed lands does not generate a negative impact on the shore nor on surrounding properties. As such, it is township staff's recommendation that the application be approved. Public notice was posted on site, and again, as a response to that recent Canada Post strike, was also posted on the township's website. And once again, I am available for questions or comments if anybody should have any. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm going to ask for the first time, is there anybody wishing to speak in opposition of this application? Second time, anybody wishing to speak in opposition? And third time, anybody wishing to speak in opposition? Is there anybody that wishes to speak in favor of this application? I'm not sure if the applicant's on here. Second time, anybody wishing to speak in favor? Third time, anybody wishing to speak in favor? And now, council, what's your thoughts? Right.
Sorry. So through you, Mayor Martin, I will make a motion that we accept it as planned by staff.
Okay, so the recommendation is moved by Councillor Clement. Do I have a seconder for that? Second by Deputy Mayor Webb. Any questions, comments? All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, and the third application here is for Rye on Quest Lake. So I'll hand that to you, Alicia.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Martin. The next file is for the property municipally known as 65 Fire Route 94. Properties in the Methuen ward and identified as part of Lot 14, Concession 8, roll number 1531-010-009-21600. The purpose and effect of this application is to present for the consideration of members of the public and council an application to amend the township zoning bylaw as amended to permit the redevelopment of the site with a new seasonal dwelling in replacement of the existing seasonal dwelling. The subject property is 4,370 square meters, which is just over an acre, and it has approximately 39 meters of shoreline on Cache Lake and about 27 meters of frontage on Fire Route 94. The site is designated shoreland areas and the waterfront in the Peterborough County Official Plan and shoreline in the Township Official Plan. It is also zoned seasonal residential. The site is currently developed with a 59 square meter or 640 square foot seasonal residential dwelling, and the applicant is proposing to demolish this dwelling and replace it with a new dwelling having a 126 meter ground floor area. The redevelopment of this site has the effect of slightly improving the setbacks to the waterfront, resulting in increasing the existing setbacks of the cottage and the associated attached deck from 13.7 meters and 11.3 meters to 14.5 meters and 13 meters, respectively. Accordingly, a reduced front yard setback is also requested. A reduced side yard setback is also requested from 6 meters to 2.3 meters. Overall, this property is heavily constrained with the presence of a very steep rock ridge that you can actually see on the site plan that Leah has up on the screen. And that really sort of pushes all developable area of the site to the front of the property. There's also a hydro line located immediately behind that developable area as well. And as a new septic system is also being introduced as part of this redevelopment, the site is further constrained, but the introduction of the new septic system, as well as a scoped EIS, overall recommend, an improvement to the site as it currently exists with those increased setbacks and updated septic services. So the proposed development is consistent with the provincial planning statement, conforms to the policies of both the county and township official plans, and complies with the majority of the township's zoning bylaw provisions. The redevelopment of that cottage which existed from the 1950s onwards, will result in that improved septic service and has some marginally increased setbacks. So it is township staff's recommendation that the application be approved, and public notice was posted on the site and on the township's website as with the other zoning bylaw amendment applications today. So available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll ask, is there anybody wishing to speak in opposition of this application? Second time, anybody wishing to speak in opposition? And third time, anybody wishing to speak in opposition? Is there anybody wishing to speak in favor of this application? Second time, anybody wishing to speak in favor? And third time, anybody wishing to speak in favor? Hearing none, I'll open up the council. So.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, Alicia, where is the picture we have on here? Where's the septic tank going to be located? Is it up in the, I guess, the north?
Thank you. Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor. I concur that the site plan makes it tough to see where that septic is going to be proposed. There is if you look very, to the top of the site plan, there's a septic tank that's currently up top.
Yep.
And then my expectation is that, of course, the septic would be that minimum 15 meters beyond. So in taking a peek at this here, I'm not seeing the exact location.
I'm
But
just sorry.
yeah.
I'm just concerned because I think the bars you have around there are denoting elevation, right?
Yes.
So they look like they built the septic on the top of a hill. Which
it is possible, and in that case, it could be that it is a tertiary system.
Okay.
I am wondering just briefly if Mr. Toms is on the line, if he's received any septic review application, and in the meantime, I can just quickly scroll through the planner staff report and see if there are any specific details in that report.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I don't think we have received the application for the sewage system yet, but it will have to be reviewed prior to any building permit being issued. So
Just that'd be the next phase in the process. Okay, thank you, Travis. Yeah, that's it, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Alicia.
So, do we want to make a motion?
Yeah, so through you, Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion, seeing that the questions that I have about the application seem to will be answered maybe in the next phase. I'll make a motion that we let them proceed to the next phase.
Okay, the recommendation, Deputy Mayor, and second by Councillor Plygood. All in favor? That's it. Okay, so with that, I'll get a motion to move out of the public meeting for this. Moved by Councillor Clement, second by Deputy Mayor Webb, all in favor, and that's carried. And now I'll look for a motion to go into committee adjustment with the Deputy Mayor and the Chair. Moved by Councillor Flagler, second by Councillor Doherty, all in favor, and that's carried.
Thank you very much, Mayor Martin.
Just I'm just hearing some. Okay, got it. Oh, there's some noise coming.
Thank you very much, Mayor Martin and members of Committee of Adjustment. I'll call this public meeting to order and remind the members of the committee of their requirement to disclose any pecuniary interest or general nature thereof if the occasion arises. This public meeting will be held under Section 45 of the Planning Act and its regulations. And we will now have planning consultant Alicia present the first of two reports today. Alicia, go ahead.
Thank you very much. And through you, Mr. Chair, the first minor variance application being discussed today is file number A-05-25. This application was submitted by Ken Tompkins on behalf of property owner Chris Labozu. The property is municipally known as 196 Fire Route 87A. And the property is located on Jack Lake in the Methuen ward, is identified as part lot 29, concession 9. Roll number 1531-010-007-57100. The property is 4,330 square meters, which is just over an acre, and is zoned seasonal residential, designated shoreline. The applicant is seeking to construct an addition on the existing dwelling, which will include a sunroom and a deck. And to do so, the following variances are required. Reducing the required front yard setback from 21.3 meters to 9.6 meters, and reducing the required setback from the high water mark from 30 meters to 9.6 meters. The existing dwelling is 130 square meters in size, which is just about 1,400 square feet. And there is currently an attached deck on the dwelling, which is proposed to be removed as part of this redevelopment. The proposed sunroom will be less than 21 square meters in size, and the attached deck will be a maximum of 13 square meters in area, which is around 140 square feet. The existing cottage is actually currently 8.1 meters from Jack Lake, which is a function, of course, of the cottage's development back in the 1950s prior to the enactment of the first township zoning bylaw. So the deck and sunroom being at that 9.6 meters will actually be located further from the current setback to the water and front yard setback, but is representative of that legal non-complying configuration for the existing cottage. So no further encroachment towards the property lines is proposed than currently exists, and the application will result in the further enjoyment of the owner's property without creating undue negative impacts on surrounding lands. So it is the township staff's opinion that the application does meet the four tests of a minor variance and is in keeping with the provincial planning statement. And I am happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the report, Alicia. Is the applicant or their agent present or online with us today?
I'm the applicant, Ken Tompkins from Sunspace of Lakefield.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tompkins. Is there anything you'd like to add to the report?
Well, I agree that we are close to the water, but we have been able to move farther back from the high water mark. This is an excellent project that will improve the value of the property for the homeowner and give them a leisure space without the bugs.
Thank you very much for your comments, Mr. Tompkins. Is there anyone present or online wishing to speak in opposition to this application today? Second time, anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Third and final time, anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this application? Is there anyone present or online wishing to speak in favor of this application? Besides the applicant. Second time, anyone in favor? Third and final time, anyone in favor of this application? So we've had just a comment, I guess, from the agent here. Looking for a motion there. Mayor Martin, oh, sorry, Councillor Clement, go ahead.
I'll make the motion pass.
Do I have a motion to approve from Councillor Clement? Do I have a seconder?
Yeah.
Mayor, seconded by Mayor Martin. Any comments or questions? If not, all in favor? And that's passed. Thank you very much for that. And we'll move on to our second report for today, which is Brooke. So take it away, Alicia.
Thank you very much. And through you, Mr. Chair. Yes, the second and last minor variance application being discussed today is file number A-06-25. And this application was submitted by Kevin Duguay of KMD Planning on behalf of the property owner, Ryan Crook. The property is municipally known as 417 Blairton Road. The property is located on Crow Lake in the Belmont Ward and is identified as Part Lot 9, Concession 1, roll number 1531-010-003-01001. The property is 8,417 square meters, which is just over 2 acres in size, and is zoned seasonal residential and designated shoreline. The applicant is seeking to expand the existing dwelling, including a westerly extension of the dwelling and an upper floor addition, and to do so, the following variances are required. Reducing the required front yard setback from 21.3 meters to 19.2 meters, and reducing the required setback from the high water mark from 30 meters to 19.2 meters. The existing dwelling is 64 square meters in size, which is around 690 square feet. The existing dwelling is also located 19.2 meters from the shore of Crow Lake. So the proposal to increase the height of the dwelling along that front wall, which is currently within the required front yard setback and setback to the high water mark, requires an application for minor variance because it is technically increasing an existing deficiency. The westerly extension of the building will not result in any deficient yard setbacks. The horizontal distance to the high water mark of Crow Lake will be maintained. As I mentioned, it's already at 19.2, though the existing setback would apply to that second story now, comparing the existing one story in that existing required yard. So the application will maintain, sufficient space for stormwater drainage and natural light as a result of mostly building either up or out the other way, and will maintain the rural character of the neighborhood along Crow Lake. So it is township staff's opinion that the application meets the 4 tests for minor variance and is in keeping with the provincial planning statement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alicia. Is the applicant or their agent present with us today?
I am, Mr. Chairman. I'm assuming you are able to hear and see me?
Yes, I am. Is it Mr. Duguay?
Yes, thank you.
Go ahead.
I'd like to first thank Alicia for her for stepping in and for her reporting to the Committee of Adjustment. I have received and considered the staff report. I do conclude with its recommendations. In summary, what is contemplated is an addition to the rear of the existing cottage, actually building upon an area currently occupied by an elevated deck. And as noted in the report, the addition is not bringing the building any closer to the shoreline, but the massing of the building, as noted, requires an acknowledgement of an increase in the extent of nonconformity and thus the minor variance. So in summary, I'm certainly satisfied with the report and do support its recommendations. And I'm available to respond to any queries of the committee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Duguay. Is there anyone present or online wishing to speak in opposition of this application today? Second time, anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Third and final time, anyone wishing to speak in opposition of this application? Is there anyone present or online wishing to speak in favor of the application? Second time, anyone in favor? Third and final time, anyone in favor of this application? If not, open up to the floor to the committee for questions or a motion. Yep, Mayor Martin, go ahead, please.
So I'll move the recommendation here for this application.
So we have a mover for the recommendation. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Clement. Any comments or questions on the motion? If not, all in favor? And that's passed. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Duguay.
Thank you very much to committee members and Alicia for your report. Bye for now.
Thank you very much, Alicia, for your reports today.
Thank you.
I'll just take a motion to adjourn the public meeting or return it back to the later council meeting by Councillor Clement, seconded by Councillor Doherty. All in favor? And that's passed. Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to move into planning reports, and you're still on with regards to proposed lot addition.
Yes, thank you. And through you, Mr. Mayor, this planning report is related to application B-77-25, which is an application for consent for the purposes of a lot addition and land conveyance. So the application for lot addition from John and Lori DeShane, who are the property owners of 203 Fire Route 23A, to the property owners of 149 Fire Route 23A, is for the purposes of supporting the replacement of a septic system on the benefiting lands, being that 149 Fire Route 23A. The benefiting lands are undersized and do not currently have sufficient space to support the replacement of their septic system as proposed. So the benefiting lands are currently 970 square meters, which is less than a quarter of an acre. And the provision of additional lands from 203 Fire Route 23A, which is currently 46 hectares in size, will result in a 500 square meter increase to that benefiting property, thus becoming larger than that quarter of an acre. And the increase in lot size would support the improved sewage treatment, which is supported by staff. However, we do also recommend that as part of a condition for the provisional approval of the subject consent, that a zoning bylaw amendment be required at the township level to recognize the deficient lot area relative to the requirements of the shoreline residential zone of the seasonal residential zone of the township comprehensive zoning bylaw, and to provide opportunity for review of any other potential deficiencies that may arise through any redevelopment of the site moving forward in the future. So this report recommends that the Township Council endorse the application for consent to the Peterborough County Land Division Committee with the conditions as proposed. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Alicia. All right, council, we have a recommendation here. What's your thoughts? Go ahead.
I talked to Travis yesterday. I'll make the motion to pass this. It meets and everything.
So it's moved by Councillor
I'll
Clement.
probably be dealing this at the next level, so I'll
Yeah.
second it.
Second by Deputy Mayor Webb. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, thank you, Alicia. All right, so the next report here is notice to purchase road allowance in North Kawartha. Travis?
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, members of council. We received notice from North Kawartha for an application to purchase an unopened road allowance. It's a shared road allowance between North Kawartha and Havelock-Belmont-Methuen, adjacent to concession 12, part lot 32. The reason for the request is there's a garage that was constructed years ago within the road allowance. In 1994, it had an encroachment agreement that was for 20 years. It's now expired. So rather than enter into an encroachment agreement again with North Kawartha, they're looking to purchase that portion of the road allowance. So because it's a shared road allowance, we have to provide comment. We share the same solicitor via Mr. Ewert. They spoke to Mr. Ewert rather than put them through an application with us. He has advised that if council is okay with it, the clerk could just simply write a letter to North Kawartha.
Right then, any questions or comments by council?
Okay, just a motion, or just a question, just on the one picture, this is what I'm looking at. So the road's gonna stay open, basically, Travis, what we're closing there. Yes, so Jack Lake Road, you can see, rather than go up the pink strip straight up through the road allowance, it goes around. And that's the road for the reason we put all that, probably use that same traveled portion of Jack Lake Road. Thank you very much. So yeah, I'll make a motion that we go with the recommendation. Yep.
All right, so that's moved by Deputy Mayor Webb. Do I have a second? Second by Councillor Clement. Questions or comments? Then, go ahead, Beth.
Through you, Mayor Martin, does this affect anyone by us closing? Like, I'm not sure, I don't understand what we're doing.
Could you bring up maybe the last attachment? So in that attachment that's on the screen there now, you can see Jack Lake Road, Road 52, the travel portion of the road. And then you can see the property in beige. You can see the hatched areas there being the 66-foot wide road allowance. The gray area shown is the garage that encroaches within the unopened road allowance. It's just a strip of unopened road lands owned by North Kawartha and Havelock-Belmont-Methuen.
It's owned
It's
by,
not it's not the traffic portion.
okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So we do have a mover and a seconder. Any other questions? All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, thank you, Travis.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna move into staff reports for information. We have 3 of them here. The first was the building department activity update for September 2025. Second one was the park and recreation September department update. And the third one was the economic development social media insight. So is there any questions with regards to any of those reports? If not, I'll look for a motion that we receive. Okay, it's moved by Councillor Clement, second by Councillor Fleischer. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, so we're gonna move into staff reports with follow-up action. So the first is a grant application here. I'm just gonna try and get that. So it's Cordova Rec Association is looking for a community grant here. Do you have anything to add to that, Bob, or?
No, through you, Mayor Martin, our economic development officer is not able to be at the meeting today, but financial impact of the application would be $991.11, and this represents the second community grant application for this year.
All right then, so
I'll make a motion to approve, and I'd like to thank the CEO for answering a question that I was gonna ask.
okay, so it's moved by Deputy Mayor Webb that we approve, and second by Councillor Doherty. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, the next item here is Public Works Connecting Link Winter Maintenance Agreement. Once again, $31,000 to plow a kilometer of road. It's terrible because I remember when it was like 15 or 16,000, and we don't have any say in this thing. It's just basically this is what you're going to pay this year. We don't even have a say on the standard that they're going to keep. So really
No
unfortunate.
local contractors that like to take it on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we looked at it before, but it's just the standards that they're trying to keep, even the county. We don't get asking the county if they can do it, but it's just a different standard that. So anyways, I do think we need to talk a little more about this connecting link, and like, I don't think there's any chance of getting rid of it. But that's the first thing you think is, why do we do this when Norwood doesn't have to, or anybody else? But there was an agreement made years ago, and there's a lot of us that are in on this thing, and we all struggle with it. But it seems like it's because there's been so much money given over the years, it's hard to get rid of it. But we do need to understand it better, and I think we do need to make a list of things for MTO and have them come and talk to them about it eventually here, because it's easy just to throw these numbers out every year and accept it, but I don't know if they even know what this is happening.
So with those comments, Mr. Mayor, I can make a motion that we approve the recommendation in the report, and also ask for, as you said, a report back in terms of possible investigation into whether we can amend the contract we have now to get a better price than we have here, or if there are other options for us moving forward in terms of dealing with this connecting link here.
Yeah.
So because as you said, we're kind of hamstrung right now in terms of we don't have many options. So if maybe we could have staff investigate, possibly we could have a few more options moving forward. So
Perfect.
Did I word that correctly? However, can you wordsmith that for
Yes,
me, please?
I've got it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we know what you meant. So, okay, so moved by the deputy mayor that we investigate this and get some answers. Councillor Doherty?
Your chair, last year we made some recommendations. I talked to the CEO about this. They incorporated in this year's contract as well, because it's probably one of the most one-sided agreements you could ever come up with.
Yes, through you, Mayor Martin. So over the years, have been provisions and could be viewed as a one-sided agreement, but we have made changes with respect, particularly with respect to the liability insurance articles in the agreement, and those are reflected in this year's agreement as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so we do have a motion on the floor that we accept this with the conditions, and second by Councillor Doherty. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, the next item on the agenda is budget priorities for council. So I'm just gonna go around the table here and
You're on the first, so.
oh, I think, okay. Yeah, so I only had 3 things on the list here that, well, only, they're all high priced things, but I'd like to see some movement or some opportunity in this budget to keep some of these things going. My first item is the town hall and making sure that we have some money in there to keep progressing with the upgrade. Second is the medical center. We need some money in there to start that process. And the third is the ball diamonds on Mary Street that I would like to see at least some money in there to get the parking lot in and some of the things that we need to do or that we can do to keep it progressing. Otherwise, we've got a lot of things on the table with no money for them. So how we get there, that'll be part of the budget process, but those are my 3 priorities for this year. So.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, you took my top 3 as well. I think most of council would agree that, you know, those 3 are on the plate. The other ones that I have is obviously the completion of George Street. We're 75% through phase, I guess phase 2 it would be here. So once we get that done next year, and as we all know, we received a grant for the second half of George Street. So I think, as I said, just keeping our eye in terms of maybe putting some money aside for that, because we all know that construction will be coming in the next few years. Smaller scale, 2 things around ECDEV. I think our ECDEV officer will be bringing them in terms of, we just completed the strat plan last year for all of council. We had an economic development, tourism and strategy plan done in 2019 that expired in 2024. We sent the review out of that document in terms of what's been completed, what hasn't been completed. So I would like to see moving forward, because as I said, that ended in 24. Our strat plan was done last year. I don't want to see a 2 or 3 year gap in between. I like to have those two documents kind of aligned. So I'd like to see some money put aside for an economic development strat plan that will, you know, kind of work in synergy with our overall strat plan. We don't have two competing kind of things. We're focused and we're working in the same direction. So besides that, I think, as I said, on a smaller scale, just making sure that this final phase of doing George Street gets done right. I know there's a few things there around the park, maybe a mural or signage to clean some of these buildings up. So not a long list, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Okay, next on the list, Councillor Clement.
So my list also included the ball diamond and George Street. I have 2 more I'd like to see. I'd like to see us look at garbage pickup outside the village. I know we go through this all the time, but you know, we have numerous requests. Why do you get it picked up and I don't? So I'd like to see that looked at. And the other thing is I have a front end loader for the public works need. We've looked at it. We currently rent every year. We can have this paid off in 6 to 8 years, I think it is. And it would be beneficial. We have some equipment going with it. Multi-use, we already have operators that can do it. I think we need to look at that too. That's it for me.
Sure. Okay, all right then. So the next person, Councillor Doherty.
You've ticked off all of mine, except what about the sewer expansion? I'd like to see it move forward and get completed, because it's kind of the hinge to the future. And there are 3 or 4 that we're supposed to be drilling and getting hooked up. It'd be nice if we could get that done, and then we get water and sewer looked after, and then we can make some long-term plans. Otherwise, just clean up some of the stuff that we have would be good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Wow. I guess the wish list is quite high here. For me, I think, town hall is, for sure, 100%. Medical center, yes, and, the property of the baseball diamonds, I think for sure, for right now. Everything else can kind of wait on hold, or sort of. Not really though, right? We'll just look at our budget, but I'm really optimistic on how this is all gonna work out. So anyway, thank you.
So I think that's the next step in this is, staff knows some of the things we're looking at. A lot of them are similar. There is some others that are outside of that. So the next part would be like a plan or a business plan on how we can or why we can't, but anyways, so thank you for those. Okay, so that's the end.
Need a
of
motion to receive or
just to move the
move?
council priority list.
Yeah, motion to forward the council priority list to budget.
Okay, that's moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Doherty. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay. All right, so we're gonna move into correspondence, and the one item here in correspondence action items was a letter that I received from a mother, and her son is with beavers and he's built this box for, and I brought it to the last meeting, just the letter, but anyways, I did tell her that I had concerns with it being in Rotary Park for vandalism and stuff. So I do like the idea, but I talked to Bob yesterday that I wonder if there would be a possibility of, and it might have to go through library board, but I just think, or make them aware, because I know they mentioned about Patterson Parkette, but there's there, or even just out by the gate here at the township building. I just wonder if we could, for 1 year, put it somewhere and just see how it's, because you want to make sure it's looked after too. It's one thing to put a library up if nobody's going to take care of it and filling it. So I just wonder if we could suggest to them, if they insist on Rotary Park, that's fine, but I just wonder if we could give them a couple other options.
So yeah, I'll make a motion to go ahead with that. Just one question. Do they still have the little one over at the library? Okay. And is that pretty well used
Oh,
or?
yes, yeah, and the
Okay.
kids site is really well used, Jen.
And just to the mayor's point, in terms of if you put it over there, it might be a better place and to be keeping an eye on it. But they kind of got their eye on Rotary Park, I take it. So
Yeah, they
Okay.
can do their meetings there, so it's just an option
I'll just, make a motion that we turn it over to staff and.
with the options, the other options. Like, and
Yeah,
that's the other
Basically
option.
what you said in terms of, like, if there is another option and they would agree to it, if not, then go ahead and.
Does council have a preferred other option or?
Okay, so through you, Mayor Martin, I could see right across the road here where there's lots of parking, especially when you've got small kids using it. The parents could pull in, so we'd have to talk to.
Where the water thing was, maybe.
Yep.
That's an option.
You need, you have to go park.
It's just for kids going across the road.
Yeah,
That's the only
exactly.
thing.
So if you put it on the other side with parking, I think that's a better alternative.
Look, we'll just have staff come back to us with a couple
Yeah.
options.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, so that's moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Clement, all in favor. And that's clear. Okay, so the next item here is for information, correspondence information with regards to, Blue Box. The buckle, it's just going on and on and on, it's the, but anyways, that's just for information anyways, but it's just, it's gonna keep. This thing, I really, we're struggling whether it's even gonna be ready for January, but anyways, this was a letter that we received, so. I think for today, we could just receive the correspondence for information, moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Clement. Questions? All in favor? And yes. Okay, so. We'll move into committee liaison reports, and the first would be the county.
Kevin Council, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of updates. Last county council meeting, we had a visit from our MPP, Dave Smith, handing out checks. It was OCIF check, I believe. And the amount we're gonna be receiving this year, I thought I had written 144, so a little higher than.
Mhm.
So, and I think that's down a little bit from last year, is it not? So, but everybody's down substantially from last year, so I think we made it all right in terms of. We didn't get hit too hard as some of the other municipalities did. Also, we had a presentation from, I think everybody's familiar with Terry Reese. So he's working with a new group, the Ontario, I gotta say this right, Fragmites, it's called, Fragmites or Fragmites, I guess, action program. So basically what that is, it's another invasive species. It's one of these long growing grasses that I think we might have some here coming into town by the rail yard. Anyways, they basically just are on a information kind of kick to let people know, especially in lake areas like this where it grows, in terms of just letting people know what it looks like, ways to get around it. I guess the county does have money. I think they said there's $30,000 there. So the county weed inspector, they can come out and spray it. Usually they'll come out and assess it obviously first. But one more thing, I know we'll be taking this to our Parks Committee because we're dealing with the knotweed at the Parks Committee currently. So this is just one more invasive species we can add to the list. So yeah, there was a nice report done by Terry on that. We also kind of briefly discussed the budget, but we haven't moved into the budget, so I won't get into that too much. At a presentation from Rhonda Keenan for the economic development program. And then we had a motion made by Deputy Warden Sanis, but it was seconded by Mayor Martin in terms of I think we've all seen that there's discussions about the cleanup of the old GE plant in Peterborough. So basically what the motion was to find out where those contaminated materials will be taken so that they won't be taken to the Bensford dump site, which obviously, as we know, is located in Peterborough County. So not something we want at the Bensford dump site. So that's about it. Any comments or questions? Fire away.
Questions? Okay, so the next items on here are council reports. So the Eastern Trails Alliance, they had a board meeting on September 11th. They're before you can read those. Councillor Doherty with the community policing minutes there. Go ahead.
Through your chair, I just got the results from the Ram Cruiser on Saturday. We collected $2,021.15 over the course of the day, which is an improvement from August, which was around $1,200. It was an exceptional day. Well done, and hopefully, and that's our last one, I believe, this year. Good, thank you. Very good.
Well done. Okay, and the next item on here is a summary from the Ontario East Municipal Conference that Councillor Clement might give. So there's no questions. I'll look for a motion to receive all of the report. Moved by Councillor Clement, second by Deputy Mayor Webb. Any questions? All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, I don't have any written notice of motion before me. Is there any oral notice of motion to come forward? Hearing none. Other business. So with that, could say this Friday with regards to the ribbon cutting at the long-term care, that's at 2 o'clock. Bob, do you have anything to add to it or?
Through you, Mayor Martin, so this is certainly something that the entire community should be very proud of. The long-term care home has been a long time coming. It's been well over 10, 15 years in the making. So this coming Friday at 2 o'clock, the entire community is invited to celebrate the official grand opening of that facility, and it is a beautiful facility.
Okay. Through you, Mr. Mayor, it's completely open to the public. So anybody that wants to come can come.
Yes, through you, Mayor Martin. We have been advertising this event on our social media platform. It is open to the entire community. There will be some formal comments made, and then there will be tours offered by our friends at Avon.
You answered my question again, partially. Thank you for putting it on social media. Do we have it on other avenues like our sign out here on the highway maybe? And
Yeah, I believe it is.
okay,
There, I'll
thank
double
you. I'm
check.
just, to your point, it is one of the biggest events or things that come to Havelock in quite some time. So it'd be nice if we celebrate that. So
Okay. Right then, and the next item on here is this.
no.
Shop local, so I think.
Yeah, we have someone coming to do that, I think.
Anybody want to draw up today? Mary? You want to do the shop local?
I'll go, it's Brooks gonna come in.
Yeah.
Just give me one moment. I'll be there.
What about Ryan?
Didn't recognize
I don't think he's done it yet.
Didn't recognize Ryan without the hat.
He didn't draw.
Yes, to you, Mayor Martin. We just kind of went really quick through all those things. And the last thing that Hart said, what was it about about the long-term care? I was curious if there has been an invitation given out to past councils to come. Thank you.
Yeah.
Volunteer.
Hello, Brooke.
Hello.
How's everyone? Good saying.
Okay, hey. So you gotta, so you have to shop local and.
Ryan, you're new.
Read that?
Ryan's new.
Okay, Ryan.
Do you know, I don't know if Josh has done it yet either now. They hiding back there, good boy. Next.
Second, Brooke's gonna do the opening for this.
Oh, you can do it. Okay. So this is your 11th Shop Local contest and the second last draw for the Shop Local campaign. There's 41 entries in this draw, 731 total entries submitted to date. $2,584.48 was the total receipt value in this draw. So the top 3 businesses were Foodland, Home Hardware, and LCBO. So this contest winner gets a $75 gift card to Wild Bakery. Yes.
Still come over.
Come over here, staff tables.
In the middle, team.
So they can see.
Over here. There you go.
There we go.
Ready?
You guys are further ahead, you can't see.
That one? You want to read it?
Kim Cooligan
I'm cool again.
is the winner with her Home
There
Hardware.
you go.
Hey, Brooke.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Ryan, thank you.
Amazing. Okay, so we're gonna move into bylaws here. And first,
We had one other item under old business.
sorry,
That was emailed around yesterday.
right, okay. I got my old agenda. Oh, then that's done, good.
Yeah, the old memo.
Oh, right, okay. I don't have on this.
It's up on the screen.
Okay. All right then, so Bob, we got the quotations for immediate
Okay.
repairs of the old town hall. So do you wanna?
Yes, through you, Mayor Martin. So we did receive quotations for the immediate repairs through Old Town Hall, and these items were presented to us after the agenda was formally presented and distributed. So for today, we're hoping that council will approve the 2 lowest bids that were compliant with the tender. And we're recommending the original quotations on both of these projects came in under budget. So we have here, as you can see there, the abatement and insulation, recommending the low bid at $21,475. The original budget on this project was $35,000. And the next item there, the mezzanine railing system, mezzanine repair. A little bit has come in at approximately, I can't read that. What does that say? 13,000 and change. And that was budgeted originally at 25,000. So we're asking council to approve those so we can commence the work. And we'll bring a proper report back to our next council meeting.
So this is a question for a motion. Do we have timeframes in terms of when this work's gonna be done?
No, I'll have to double check that. As I say, this came in just before the agenda, just before this meeting, so we will confirm that.
Okay,
I don't have that answer
I'm
today.
assuming somewhat immediately though.
Oh, absolutely, as soon as
Okay.
possible.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion that, and then hopefully have that information brought
Yeah.
back.
Moved by the deputy mayor and seconded by Councilor Clement. Questions? Okay. Any other questions?
I'll take-
All in favor?
Sorry.
And that's carried. Okay, the next on the agenda here is bylaws. The first bylaw was deferred. So the second item here is bylaw 2025-074. So it's the rezone for zoning on certain land, fire time city. Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb. Second by Councilor Clement. All in favor? And that's carried. And the next item here is bylaw 2025-75. For zoning of land on Fire Route 94. As we talked about in the previous. Moved by Councilor Clement, second by Councilor Doherty, all in favor, and that's carried. And the last bylaw is the bylaw for 2025-76 with regards to the winter maintenance service agreement. So Councilor, our Deputy Mayor Webb and Councilor Doherty, all in favor, and that's carried. All right, so that concludes the open meeting. I will look for a motion that we go into closed session under section 239(2)B for personal matters about identifiable individuals, including municipal and local board employees. So, motion to move into closed, moved by Councilor Clements, second by Councilor Flagler, all in favor. And that's carried. Okay, I'll look for a motion to take a 5-minute recess, moved by Councilor Flagler and Councilor Doherty, all in favor. Okay, we're back in open. 7. So we'll look for a ring bylaw for today's meeting.
Oh, no.
No, you can see Kathy and Deb. In favor, carried. Motion for adjourn, Martin, carried.